I bought the Bambu Lab A1 about a month ago and I've sunk tons of hours into printing things like figures, helmets, and all kinds of stuff. And if you're thinking about getting one so that you can print your own Iron Man suit, or you're thinking you'll actually be able to make money off of this thing by printing cheap articulated dragons, then you might want to watch this video first. Does the Bambu Lab A1 actually meet the hype, or is it
the biggest piece of dog shit?
That's what this video is all about. Let's get into it. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and cover the good, the bad, and ugly about the Bambu Lab A1. I'm going to go ahead and cover ease of use for beginners, the print quality that you get from this printer, the assembly and maintenance difficulty, the filaments that I've used with this printer so far, and trials and tribulations that I've run into with this printer. Seriously, you're going to want to watch it through before you go ahead and drop your hard-earned cash on this. Anyways, I'll stop talking. Let's go ahead and get into the details. If you're looking into getting a Bambu Lab A1, the chances are you or whoever you're buying this for is probably a noob in the 3D printing world and has no idea what they're doing, just like I was. And you're looking for something that'll give you the most bang for your buck, has great print quality, and doesn't require a computer science degree just to get the thing working. And the Bambu Lab A1 checks all those boxes. With the Bambu Lab A1, you can print tons of stuff seconds after you get the printer set up, all from the Bambu Handy app itself without needing any additional software installed on a computer, laptop, or anything like that. It's like having Amazon in your house. You scroll on the app, you find something you want, you click print, bam, next thing you know, in a few hours, you've got a brand new action figure or whatever it is you want. You get the idea. When I first set up my printer, my first probably 10 prints were all just from my phone. I printed Pokemon balls, a custom light switch cover, and a whole pile of random stuff, all from the app. No software needed, no tweaks, nothing like that. I just found something I liked. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Let's press print. And that was it. Literally, you can be printing just about anything you want within seconds of having your printer set up. It's great for beginners. When you go through assembling your Bambu printer, one of the steps is connecting your phone to your printer via the Bambu Handy app. And this thing is essentially going to be your one-stop shop for messing with your printer. You're going to be able to do things like actually drop in on your printer and look at the live feed while the thing is printing. You can actually stop it. You can actually turn the light on and off just in case you're printing at night or in a dark area and you don't want to leave an overhead light on. You can check the print status, see errors when you're getting any potential issues, like filament getting stuck because you decided to buy a cheap roll, like myself. And it's great because the Bambu Handy app connects you to Maker World, which is essentially the TikTok of 3D printing. People in the 3D printing community world upload all kinds of projects and designs to this app, and you can download them for free and get them printing on your printer within a few seconds. And you can upload your own stuff as well, and if people actually download it and actually begin to boost, which is essentially like liking it, you'll actually earn credit and can use that to actually buy stuff like filament on the Bambu website. It's pretty cool. And compared to other 3D printing brands, nothing honestly holds a candle to this thing. Now, I've only got experience with this 3D printer, but from what I've been reading, I don't really see many other 3D printers that have apps that are this integrated into their printers and are easy to get set up within a few seconds. Bambu definitely hit its mark with this one and made it so easy for noobs like myself and probably you to get into the 3D printing world. So is the Bambu Lab A1 beginner friendly? Yes, it definitely is. And now don't let that fool you into thinking you can't print all kinds of professional looking things, because it can do that as well. And that's what we're going to go ahead and move on to now. Now, the Bambu Lab A1 is definitely branded as more of a beginner level printer, but the print quality that comes with this printer is definitely top tier. I mean, I even printed Archer and Chip Hazard from the movie Small Soldiers. If you know, you know. And I've got to say, the detail quality that comes with the standard 0.4 millimeter nozzle is amazing. I'll throw some close-up videos on this, but these action figures look exactly like the movies did. It's great. Now, obviously, my Chip Hazard, I've actually painted it. I didn't do that with the Archer yet, but you'll still see the thing looks amazing. The print quality is definitely not lost if you buy a Bambu Lab A1. It looks like movie quality stuff, and this is just with the standard 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and I didn't make any changes to the project print profile when I actually uploaded this into the printer and began to print it. I just uploaded it into the software, press print, and I was good to go. And trust me, I still don't know 95% of the different options that you can configure in the Bambu Studio desktop app. And I was able to print these as well as a whole bunch of other stuff that I'll probably go ahead and throw across the screen here. And it was all with the default settings that come with the projects. I've never gone in and done anything crazy to try and fine-tune anything. I'd say the most I've done is actually try and mess with the support settings, and that's just to make them a little bit easier to come off. But that's all stuff I Googled. I was able to learn it real fast. And now obviously you can buy other nozzles for this printer so that you can get a lot finer details in your prints if you'd like. But this is just a standard 0.4 nozzle that comes with it, and I've been able to do a lot with it and don't plan on getting any other nozzles anytime soon. And I'm doing all my prints with dog shit filament. I'm buying the cheapest thing you can possibly get on Amazon, and I'm still getting great prints. I don't need any fancy, expensive filaments from Bambu. I'm just buying generic, and I'm getting great print quality. So print quality is definitely not lost just because this is branded as a beginner level printer. Now, assembling the Bambu Lab A1 is stupid easy. I went ahead and did an unboxing and assembly on it. You can watch it here if you want. And although it was a pain in the butt for me because I had to try and get all the right angles, for you it's going to be super easy because you're not doing any of that. It's probably take you 25 minutes tops. But just do yourself a favor and read the directions carefully. Literally step step one included taking off some screws for the Z-axis so that the printer could move up and down freely like it needs to when it prints, and I completely missed it. And once I got the thing completely set up, I tried doing a test and it was trying to move around and it couldn't, and it was just making some serious cranking noises. Thankfully, I didn't cause any issues, at least that I know of right now. So definitely make sure you read the instructions, but it's easy to assemble. Now, maintenance, I've had it for just over a month at this point, and the only thing I've had to do is actually lube up the Z and X axis. They give you some lube, and all you got to do is put it along the metal rail. It's super easy to do. Other than that, I'd say the only other things I've had pop up for me is sometimes I would, because I'm using cheap filament, I would have issues where the filament would break off in the nozzle, and then the printer couldn't push the new filament through as it's printing. So I would have to disassemble it and push the filament through. That was super easy. It takes me like 5 seconds to do. The first time it took like 10 minutes because I had to watch a YouTube video. But other than that, I mean, it's super easy. This thing is pretty durable. I haven't had any issues with it, and it's easy to maintain. The one thing I would note is I've noticed if I actually power the printer off, let's say I don't use it for a few days, I don't want to waste power, I'll power it off, and when I turn it back on, it'll ask me to lube up the Z or X axis rails again, even though I just did it a few days ago and I hadn't printed with it enough for it to need it. So it's just something to keep in note, and I have noticed that in the forums. But other than that, maintenance and assembly, it's pretty damn easy. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about filaments. So when it comes to filament types, you can use TPU, PLA, PETG, and PVA type filament with your Bambu Lab A1 printer. And now this might be the portion that's a little bit of a turnoff for people, because people might want to be able to print with stuff like ABS, ASA, carbon fiber, and all kinds of stuff like that. And some of those have gases that you can't be breathing in. And since the Bambu Lab A1 isn't an enclosed printer, you obviously can't print with those. So that is one downside. But with that being said, you can still print just about anything you could think of with the filament types that the Bambu A1 does support. And now when it comes to brand, obviously Bambu is going to recommend that you use their Bambu branded filament with their filament types. Their spools actually come with a little chip that your printer can sense, and the printer will actually be able to tell you what percentage of filament you have left on the spool, which is actually great. Instead of having to guess whether or not you have enough filament when you're about to start a print that might be 26 hours, you'll know for sure if you're going to have enough. Which you wouldn't know if you're using the generic type like I do. I bought literally the cheapest possible filament that I could possibly find on Amazon. I'm taking stuff off a haul, I'm taking stuff off of clearance. As long as it's the cheapest one, I'm using it. And I haven't really had any issues in terms of print quality or performance with the Bambu Lab A1. I have noticed some issues from other people reporting on Facebook and stuff like that, that sometimes they will have their nozzles clog up. I don't know exactly what they're printing, but that is something that I have seen, but I personally haven't experienced it at all. And I've done hundreds of hours of printing at this point. Now, there are issues with buying cheaper types of filament, which doesn't have anything to do with the printer itself. And that's just for the mere fact that some of these things get spooled up and they might actually get kinked. And when it's trying to print, your printer will get stuck and won't be able to print, and it'll notify you letting you know that your filament's probably tied up or something like that. But like I said, you can use any filament brand you want. It's just you're gonna be limited to that TPU, PLA, PETG, and PVA. But that's about it with filaments. Now let's go ahead and get into the trials and tribulations about the Bambu Lab A1 and whether or not it's actually really worth it. Now I know this video might seem like I'm glazing bamboo, but I promise you it has not been all sunshine and rainbows around here working with this printer. I've definitely had my fair share of issues that have made me want to throw this printer out the window. One reason has to do with my Archer. This was supposed to be one of the simplest prints ever. He was a full model, however, he was too tall for the printer, so I actually had to slice it. I went ahead and sliced it at the middle and at the arms and planned on just reassembling it. However, I could not find an orientation for his arms. No matter what I did, the extruder kept hitting it. I would orient it all kinds of ways, and when it was printing, it'd get about 2 or 3 hours in, and the actual nozzle would somehow just ram right into it and shift it, and either knock it off the plate or shift it, and everything would be misaligned. I think I printed the arms like 4 or 5 times. It was driving me insane. And it came down to me messing with the supports and the brim to keep it firm and strong on the plate so that it wouldn't move. And I finally got them to print. But that should have been something that was so simple, yet it just was not working out for some reason. And I've actually ran into this as well with my Mandalorian helmet back there. I'll throw some B-roll up on it, but you can actually see that there's an actual line where the layers shifted as I was printing. Why? No idea. It was a 25-hour print, and I think that happened at like maybe hour 22 or something like that. But I couldn't do anything about it. It just decided to shift for some reason. And with that being said, the extruder actually hit my Mandalorian helmet too. I woke up about 2 in the morning to some scraping noises. And now the Bambu Lab A1 printer advertises that it can print X, Y, and Z axis of 256 millimeters. So essentially it can print something that's supposedly 256 millimeters tall. Now, when I went to print this helmet, it ended up working out to where I'd be able to print the entire thing without having to disassemble it beforehand and then glue it together after I printed it. Great. Anyways, I wake up at 2 in the morning to the nozzle scraping it because it didn't have enough clearance to continue printing. And the Bambu software did not yell at me or anything telling me that it was too high up. I had a 20mm clearance at the top, and I thought that was more than enough room for the nozzle to finish doing what it had to do to print. Obviously not. It got to about 200, maybe 20mm high or something like that, and it didn't have enough space to continue to print on top. And I ended up with the Mandalorian helmet having a hole in the top of it initially, which meant I had to go back in and slice the model and then just print that little top portion and then glue it together. Now, that wasn't such a big deal because I had super glue and then I can solder it, and I plan on sanding it, priming it, and painting it. But I hate the fact that they advertise 256mm in Z-axis that it can print when it actually can't do that. So that's just one thing you'll want to keep in mind. Now, another little complaint I have is the magnetic plate and how it actually sits on the printer bed. In order to put the magnetic plate, which is the print plate that your printer prints on the print bed, you just line it up with the edges and it stays on via magnets. The magnets for the bed are very strong. It is a pain in the ass to get it all lined up correctly. And there's been several times where I'll go to print something after re-putting the plate back on, and it'll go through doing its testing and it'll basically error out because it's not aligned correctly. And it got to the point where I just turned that check off so that it wouldn't do it. Thankfully, I haven't had any issues with my prints due to that. Just a little thing, but it's definitely annoying trying to get it aligned up. I feel like that should have been a little bit easier to do, but whatever. Now, another complaint I have with this is the print speed. Depending on what you're printing, this thing can take forever. And if you're doing stuff with the AMS, which allows you to print in 4 different colors at a time, then stuff will definitely slow down. I mean, this little action figure with scissor took me 26 hours, and this thing is probably 3 inches tall. I mean, it's pretty small. Wait. Actually, you know what? This is actually large. 3 inches is really large, so I can see why it took so long. Nah, I'm just kidding. But this thing took so long because of all the times it had to switch colors. The way the printer prints is it prints in layers. So at layer 1, it'll print whatever colors are there. In this case, it would have been red and white. And as it does the white, it'll print the white and then the white, and then it'll sit there, it'll go back, it'll purge the white filament, switch to red, do a little layer, which is gonna be about 2mm in height, and then it's gonna do that over and over all the way up. And this takes a long time for it to switch over and over, which results in stuff like this taking 26 hours. Now, that being said, the Mandalorian helmet also took 26 hours, and this was just a single color, no change at all. You would think this would have been a little bit faster. I mean, look, it's not even all that thick either. I'd say it's probably 1/4 inch in thickness, yet this also took 26 hours. And when you're going in the Bambu Lab Handy app and going to print things, it'll actually give you an estimate of how long things will take. And sometimes I'll get disappointed because it'll say that it's only going to take this long, but that's because it's based off of the, a different series of Bambu printers. And when I switch it to the A1, it actually increases a little bit. So you'll want to watch for that. Things can be a little bit slower. And honestly, the biggest thing that slows the printer down is using multicolor, just because it's shifting between the filament colors. If you're going to use something that's multicolored, you want to make sure you angle it the right way as you print it so that it doesn't sit there constantly switching colors all the time. The least amount of color changes you need, the better and faster it's going to be to print. But overall, generally most of my prints that I've done are like 2 hours, 3 hours, nothing too crazy. And the longest I've done so far is 26, which is both the scissor figure and my helmet. But that'll just be something that you will want to take into account. And one other complaint I have is this mother is loud. I decided to put it in my office. Honestly, that was the only space I had for it. And I also work from home. And I'll have this thing printing, especially when it's doing like a 26-hour print while I'm sitting here trying to work. And oh my gosh, this thing has made me go insane sometimes. When it's sitting there printing, it's not a noise that's steady and repetitive so that you can kind of, tone it out. The thing will go and then it's not repetitive at all. It'll just make random noises based off of how it's printing and the pattern that it's using to print your objects. So every time I have the thing printing, I have to throw on some headphones and put some white noise on. Now, it's not bad if you're printing at night. Since this is in my office, I can just close the door and I can't hear it from any other rooms in the house. However, if you are trying to sleep in the same room that you are printing this thing in, you're probably gonna need some earplugs because this motherfucker is loud. And one other complaint I have is shaking. I have this thing sitting on top of my server rack, which has 3 servers in it, a few switches, routers. It is super, super heavy. This thing isn't moving. Yet this little printer shakes so much as it's going around the print plate, printing out my object, that it makes my entire rack shake. And I used to have my Nintendo Switch sitting on top of my server rack, and I had to move it because my dang Switch was going back and forth. I was gonna snap off the USB plug inside the stand. That's just something you'll want to take into account. You can't just have this thing on some little flimsy Walmart desk you're gonna have to have it on something that's sturdy, and not only because it's gonna shake that, but as it's shaking, obviously that could potentially affect your prints, and you don't want to have to deal with that. So just another complaint I have. But that's it for the most part. Those are my biggest complaints with the Bambu Lab A1. But anyways, that's my review on the Bambu Lab A1 printer. Is it worth it? I'm gonna say definitely, especially for beginners and even pros, honestly. This thing can range anywhere from $200 all the way up to $500 if you're getting the combo edition, which comes with the AMS, which I would recommend. This thing is plug and play, has an amazing app, and can literally have you going from an absolute 3D print noob to printing cool shit in literally minutes. And you can also totally nerd out and do all kinds of things like printing full 3D Iron Man suits and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've even seen people printing life-size action figures with this. They just slice the models up, print them, and assemble them, and it looks great. And of course, it does have its issues. Most of mine have been user error. The more familiar I get with the Bambu Studio app, the better my prints will probably be. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. If I see another one go on sale, I might be tempted to get one. But let me know what you think. If you already have the Bambu Lab A1 printer, what are your thoughts on it, and what are some issues or some tips that you might want to give to someone else? If you're thinking about getting one, let me know what you're comparing it against, and I can potentially give you my feedback in the comments down below. And also, let me know what you guys are printing now or planning on printing. But anyways, I appreciate your guys' support. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be giving away random 3D prints to a random subscriber in my upcoming videos. More details will come out in the next one, so you'll definitely want to be subscribed. Anyways, I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.